I'm at the lock gates which form the entrance to Bristol's city docks. On one side is a constant water level. It's called the floating harbour because vessels in it stay afloat all the time. On the other side is the tidal river Avon. It comes down the Avon Gorge, overseen by Brunel's Clifton Suspension Bridge. The area around the lock gates is frankly rather dull. And to be honest, beyond the locks is a concrete jungle of flyovers. So what simple idea could make this place much more interesting? What about a piece of artwork? Some secret public artwork. Secret public artwork? Isn't that a contradiction? Now, let's think about the history of the Avon Gorge. The geologists will tell you that it was formed in the Ice Age by massive earth movements. But every Bristolian, or at least those of a certain age, knows it wasn't like that at all. Instead, a legendary giant called Goram dug out the gorge by hand. Now, Goram used to be a famous figure in Bristol. He even had an annual fair named after him. Goram's fun fairs took place every year until the 1960s. Some of the legends about Goram mention his friend, another giant called Vincent. Vincent rocks here are named after him. Other legends say that the giants shared a lady friend, Avonlina, presumably the River Avon. It's probable that the legend started in the 18th century. But does that mean they can't inspire public art? Just think of all the thousands of statues of gods and monsters inspired by the Greek and Roman mythology. Well, maybe a statue of Goram might be a bit complicated and expensive. So, what about a different art form? Quite a tradition has grown up in Bristol recently of wall painting. Some practitioners of which have gone on to become quite famous, like Banksy. So, what about putting a painting on this wall? Commonly called the knuckle. It splits the lock gates off from the River Avon. It faces down the gorge dug by Goram. Now, a group of local artists, the Bristol Duchamp Society, have picked up this idea and are now proposing that on the vertical wall at the end of the knuckle should be painted a representation of the giant Goram. Not the whole figure, just his face. A giant face. Now, as this part of the river is tidal, at high tide, 90% of the wall will be covered. And so will be the face. Secret public art. But as every tide drops, gradually the monstrous face will become visible to approaching vessels and nearby pedestrians, starting with the eyes. Eventually the whole face will be revealed for just a few hours every day, but only at low tide. Painting on a curved wall in a tidal river is not easy, but it is simpler than a statue, and here, possibly, more interesting. The promoters of the idea think that this mysterious giant's face could become a tourist attraction, and that this might start the regeneration of the area. It's an interesting idea, but is it a good one? What do you think?